Alright, welcome back to another theZim's video journal. This is video journal 138. I wrote down a bunch of stuff to talk about. This is where I talk about everything that went down on my musical and artistic journey over the last week and life stuff. I'll just go down the list. Jam of the week. I don't have a jam of the week. I need you to tell me your jam of the week. So what is it? Post it in the comments. Let me know. I've obviously been crazy with relocating my life and stuff, and I haven't really been listening to anything new, doing the Pandora a lot as I'm setting things up and things like that. So let me know what your jam of the week is, what's going on that you're really digging these days. This is my new studio. Welcome. This is what I'm calling it this is Studio 1200. And why am I calling it Studio 1200? Is because this is roughly 1,200 miles from Seattle, so that's why I'm calling it Studio 1200. And of course there's a little nod to the whole 12th man kind of idea. What? Go Hawks. So we're on the street. This week on We're on the Street we had Tekla Waterfield. Great conversation. It was my second in public conversation. I've done a lot. I've done a ton more now, which was great. I really enjoy it, so I think I'm getting okay with the whole idea. I mean, really what it boils down to is when I'm out in public, it's actually less anxiety for me than when I'm in a studio setting, because in a studio the expectation is it's going to be perfect. Out in the world, the expectation is there's more unknowns, and so for me it's like it alleviates the need for it to be perfect in a way, in this weird kind of way. And it's just whatever happens. You know, somebody could walk in on us, noises could happen, just different things, unknown variables can happen. So it makes me feel more comfortable because I'm just like, well, whatever happens. I'm able to relax more. Whereas sometimes in my studio setting, I'm more like, oh, I hope I'm doing a good job, and get worked up in that kind of world. So those are a couple things just in that kind of world that I've been thinking about. It was a great conversation. I loved it. Thank you, Michael Knapp from the Michael Knapp and Dave, or Mike and Dave show, and My Advice, which is on hiatus. But he commented on my personal Facebook page that he said it was on point. So that was awesome to hear. Get some feedback. Speaking of feedback, I need some iTunes reviews. Are you down to hook me up with some iTunes reviews? I haven't had an iTunes review in quite a while, and it's like, it's kind of like, is anybody out there listening to what's going on? It reminds me of another thing I have to write down. So check that out. Back to the conversation with Tekla. Just two things I want to mention that are just kind of interesting. If you've been following along with this conversation with theZim and things that I talk about, there's two things you know already: that I am not a big fan of Reverb Nation. Really big not a fan, whatever that means. Not a fan. Hate Reverb Nation, basically. And she mentioned that she uses Reverb Nations, and did you notice I let her have that? I didn't go into any kind of thoughts around that, because I didn't feel it was appropriate, and I just didn't want to deal. So there's that. However, that's where she does a lot of her work, so whatever. Anyways, just the Reverb Nation thing. And then her little, at the beginning of the conversation, she made this kind of comment about KXP, and I'm just, I think KXP could be doing a better job to support the local community, so it makes me a little bit standoffish when it comes to showing support for them. And so when she made the comment at the beginning, I just let it slide and didn't bring any more attention to the beginning statement about KXP. So those are two things that, if you've been following along, you would have been like, why didn't he say anything? And that's why I didn't say anything. Coming up this week on the podcast, We're on the Street, is version 116 with Don Farwell of Earwig Studio. So it'll be great to have somebody that's not a musician, another slice of the scene, a part of it. On my trip down, so as I said, I'm in San Diego now in Studio 1200 right here. And on my trip down 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was, I took basically a week to get down here. I landed in San Diego on Tuesday, January 3rd, was it? And the day before, on Monday, I went and saw Ever So Android in LA. That was my last stop before making it here to San Diego. And they played at the Echo, cool space in LA. Awesome to meet up with Ever So Android again and talk to Drew, Hope, and Ben. And it was rad. It was cool seeing some old friends, or some friends, not old, just some friends. And watch them do the thing. They're tight. They're so good. There was 4 bands I think they played with, and they are, in my opinion, by far the best on the lineup. Next level compared to everything else that was on the lineup. I did take some video. And I took some photos. So there you go. If you want to find them, they're in my YouTube page, this page for the video, and then also the photos are on the WOTS Facebook page. So facebook.com/We're on the Street podcast. That's that. Now, so San Diego. I'm in San Diego, and first impressions. I plan on doing a lot more in-depth reviews, I guess you could say, of San Diego as time goes on. I'm still kind of getting settled. Man, it's been somewhat crazy. My brain is all over the place with things. It's like, why am I here? But I'm here, and it's been awesome spending time with my kids. I have them currently this week, so that's rad. But my first impressions of San Diego, a couple of things that just come to mind. Really, people drive fast here. Fast drivers and anxious drivers, always on my ass. Like, it's like, the speed limit on the freeway is like 65, which is higher than Seattle. But there can be an average speed of like 80 miles an hour driving on the freeway. So like, the way San Diego works is there's basically this web of freeways. And whenever you like map something, like you say you want to go somewhere, it's always pretty much faster to get on a freeway than to go a straight line to it. So it'll take you in this arc to, like, if you're here and you want to get here, it'll send you on this arc around, which is faster than going straight to it, according to maps. And it's anti-intuitive and kind of weird to me, but because there's so many freeways, there's like just a ton of, it's like this, like I said, a web of freeways that you can get on and off of. I still don't know like which direction things, rush hour, I haven't had to deal with rush hour or anything like that yet, but it's interesting that there's like that, because like in Seattle, Lake Washington kind of breaks up the kind of the area of just the area of the city and whatnot, and it breaks you apart from Bellevue, and then it's like you're all along the I-5 corridor, whereas Seattle kind of like is spread north and south. San Diego just radiates outward from, like, San Diego's right on the ocean, and just radiates outward from there, and just kind of is different that way. So it doesn't have this north and south aspect as like Seattle does. It just kind of has this general area. So I don't know. I live in this place called City Heights, which is like 15, maybe 20 minutes outside of the city center of San Diego, just basically straight east. And so it's pretty centralized to what everything that's going on, which is I kind of like. It's in like it's right off like 2 streets off of a main road called El Cajon, which is kind of like an Aurora type road, which is fine, but it's busy and kind of grimy, and it's not posh by any means at all. I'm in a pretty just real type of neighborhood right now, which is fine. I'm cool with it. The general vibe I'm getting of San Diego, just for myself, is like, I'm gonna line it with an analogy of like a dating analogy, and it's like, it wouldn't be a place that I'd marry. It's like cool to date but not to marry, if you know what I mean. So that's just where I'm at with it. I don't see it. It doesn't feel like it's my place, and it's kind of like, it makes me think a lot about what I want to do with my life and with my thing, and as long as I can keep working forward and I don't get stuck in any kind of ruts, I like this idea of being more nomadic now. I don't know if there's a real place. I like the Northwest aesthetic way more than I like the San Diego aesthetic. You know, I'm way more into the townhome or the country. What is it called? Townhome? No, not townhomes. I can't think of the architectural style that's in Seattle more. More that kind of style. Obviously the evergreens being in the forest, the clear skies more. I mean, ironically, since I've been down here, it's been raining a lot, and the rain is different down here. It's like bigger, wetter drops. Like I was mentioning, like you can when it's kind of raining softly in Seattle, and how it drizzles a lot and stuff, you can get to your car and to your house without really getting wet. A lot of times, it's just like this kind of drizzle that happens here and there, these small drops of rain and stuff, and you just don't get soaked. But here, it's like they're fat drops, and and it comes down harder, and it's just like you walk from your car to your house, and you're wet by the time you get inside, and things like that. It's a different kind of rain, and they said it's been a pretty wet winter here so far in San Diego. I think that's about it for now. My first impressions of San Diego. I'll clue you in more. If you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. This weekend I plan to get out and go to my first show, find a show to go to and shoot it, and just kind of get out there and see what that's all about. Facebook Live. I'm trying to do next week. I'm gonna get hooked. I'm gonna get situated so that I can do Facebook Live for these videos. I'm gonna do that. I don't know how that'll play with my anxiety and stuff, knowing that it's live and I don't have a chance to edit things. But basically, what I'm gonna do is set up the live video, record that live right as I do these, but it won't be the same video that I post to YouTube. I'll do this on YouTube, which I'll splice in like you saw the video of Ever So Android and the photos of Ever So Android, things like that. You won't see on live. It'll just be what this kind of behind the scenes look at it. But anyways, so I'll be posting twice. I'm gonna try it out. Anyways, I'll try it. Let me know. If you think that's a good idea, let me know. How am I feeling? I wrote down how am I feeling. I just wanted to give you an update. I kind of said a little bit of that already, but I'm doing okay. I haven't. I don't really know why. I mean, other than my kids, I don't know why I'm here yet. It's kind of not clear. I'm working on getting everything in line. Right now, I'm just bleeding money because of the way moving your life to a new city, just re-signing up for internet and car registration, driver's license, all these kind of things that just these little health insurance I need to get. I need to get so many things in line that it's just kind of like. It is anxiety inducing. However, I haven't had any bad or any kind of anxiety kind of stuff lately, which is awesome. And I don't feel, I was talking to Arock about this the other day, I don't feel any sense of dread. Like I don't wake up in the morning feeling dread, where I kind of was for a while in Seattle with having to go to my day job and things like that. So, but right now it's just a matter of I got to get hustling on the clutch. I'm still getting organized here in my house. And it's just kind of, I just need to keep things going, keep working forward. I feel, I was thinking a lot about this feeling of urgency that I talk about often on these video journals and in my life. And I kind of recognize what it is in a way. I mean, I'm going to be 40 this year. And one of the senses of urgency that I have is just like, I want to make sure I do stuff before it's too late. And so I always have this sense of urgency because I just don't feel... I haven't yet been able to accomplish my goals. Basically, my goal, the big goal is to make money off of what brings me joy. Is really the big goal, and I haven't accomplished that yet. These video journals, the podcast, all the videos I do on YouTube, making things my clutch, spending time with my kids, or things that bring me joy. And I don't make. I mean, the kids thing's a totally different sector. There's no way I'd make money off that, but those are the things that I can do that bring me joy, and I haven't figured out how to make money off them yet. So hopefully that's what will be created now with the clutch, especially is my first step in music. I need to find out outlets and figure out how I can make money off the music. There's a lot going on. and speaking of all that, you can help that if you like what I'm doing, what I'm creating, especially the podcast, and even these video journals, but especially the podcast is the main kind of like thing I have to offer is the podcast. And I set up a Patreon account for the podcast, and it's basically everything, my artistic being, but a lot of that will go to the podcast, and it's patreon.com/theZim, and I'll link it up in the description. You can become a Patreon, and basically what that is a monthly donation to what I'm trying to create. And there's incentives. I mean, the incentives don't start until like $50. I don't know what I can offer as an incentive without losing my own shirt by offering incentives. So right now, basically anything from $1 a month upward is just goodwill, and you appreciate what I'm creating. And the incentives are the fact that I make a podcast every week and create content all the time. So if you're enjoying this kind of stuff that I'm doing, I love it if you considered becoming one of my Patreons and donating $1 or more, and helping me out with this whole thing I'm trying to create. So check that out and let me know if you have any questions regarding that. And then that's it for today. I'll leave it at that. Lots more to talk about, but I'll save it for next week and beyond. And if you have any questions for me, please be sure to ask them. And one last thing. So I'm in San Diego, as you know. If you are a touring Seattle Northwest band or a friend of mine, connect with me and we'll see how I can support you. Anywhere from helping you find a gig to lodging to whatever it may be. Let's connect and make sure it happens. And if you are one of my friends, well, I can just get your ass down here and you can stay with me, and we'll have a party and we'll go to the beach and have a good time. So let's do it. All right, catch you next week. Again, ask me any questions. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Perfect. All right, peace out.